Good day, everybody. It's time for another secular sermon. So, another thing I miss about church is I hardly ever get to dress up anymore. Used to be always good for a Sunday and, weddings, funerals, and so on, but now it's only for like job interviews or if I'm going to a show or a concert, and I don't go to too many concerts, and I like the job I'm doing, so I don't have too many occasions and like to take advantage when I can. And just in case you're wondering if I'm doing a risky business thing downstairs, I am going to step back here so you can see it all. As you can see, it is the real deal. And I was just one little go around here so you can see. Don't get me started. I tell you what, I'm as vain as a peacock. I never met a mirror I didn't like. So anyway, all right, if I can focus on the task at hand for the moment. Now, today, and I do see the irony in this, today I want to talk about dealing with rejection. And rejection, by definition, is the dismissal or refusal of a proposal or an opportunity. I'd like to change the lens on that word rejection for the purposes of this sermon. Instead of rejection being seen as a dismissal or refusal of an opportunity, I want you to add a second definition of an opportunity for growth. That's what we're going to change the lens to look at rejection as, an opportunity for growth. But on the surface, rejection itself, it can be painful, and it can happen on many different levels, especially in relationships with a partner or prospective partner or a family member or business, a coworker or a potential client. A lot of ways to be rejected. And I can tell you, as a black man from Texas and an atheist, that I have experienced many forms of rejection, and they all suck eggs. Rejection sucks on any level, but they are a part of life, and rejection is a part of life, and it's inevitable. It's a part of the valleys that we go through. Now, that one in particular, especially in personal relationships, it can hurt like a broken heart. And I read somewhere once that a broken heart can also feel like having a heart attack. I can tell you, I've had that happen before. I had a broken heart, and it doesn't feel good. And, it's tough to get through. So hopefully some of my experiences will help you get through your situations when you face rejection. So as I said, first you want to change the lens on it, but also let's look at the reality of it. By the regular definition, it is a dismissal or refusal of an opportunity or a proposal, not a person. So the first thing you want to do in the personal relationship where you're going through a rejection is not take it personal. As crazy as it sounds, don't take it personal, even if it is personal. Because I have this saying, when you take it personal, you make it personal. And when you do that, you can damage the relationship beyond repair. And there would be no chance to make peace or any chance of reconciliation, and you may even make an enemy. So don't get caught in the moment. And like I said before, be professional. Try to stay classy and even complimentary if you can. Just have some grace, have some class when you're in the face of rejection. The other thing is, if you can, if it's appropriate, ask why. Why? What did I do wrong? Is there anything I can do to fix it? And of course, you can only go so far with that. You don't want to be harassing or stalking or badgering or anything like that. But yeah, ask why, if there's anything you can do to change their mind about it. Sometimes you can, and you're willing to, and sometimes you don't want to make the change they require, or sometimes they don't even give you an answer. If they do give you an answer, things that you can do to salvage the relationship, then you have to do it. You have to make a commitment to that change that you're supposed to make, whether it's just being nicer or more generous or respectful or more loving or whatever the case may be, whatever that person is telling you they need, you need to do your best to provide it. And if you can't provide it, you need to be realistic about that too. Like me with the atheism, I've lost a few relationships, more than a few relationships, because of my atheism, but it's not something I'm willing to compromise on. So if I lose somebody over that, I'm okay with it, right? Because it's my choice. And what about if they don't want to give you an answer? They don't want to talk to you and don't want to give you a chance to fix anything and just want to be done. Unfortunately, you have to accept that too. As painful as it is, you have to accept it. And remember that you're dealing with another autonomous human, another individual who has their own experiences, their own desires, their own wants and needs, and they have a right to make their own choices, just like you do. You wouldn't want anybody harassing you or stalking you because someone disagrees with the decision you make. So you want to give that same respect. You know, try to get information if you can, but don't push too much, right? Keep it classy. Because, like we said, they're rejecting the opportunity. They're not rejecting you personally. There may be a time where you can present another opportunity that they may be willing to accept, or not. You may be totally cut off and you have to just present a better opportunity to someone else, however that goes. But remember, they're their own person and they have a right to their decision, and you need to respect it, accept the lesson, and move on. Moving on, that's super tough. That's probably the hardest part, going through that valley and going through those storms, those different emotions of confusion, frustration, bewilderment, but whatever those feelings you're going through, that storm of emotions, they will come, and it'll come at random and probably not at a convenient time. So you want to build yourself up to weather those storms so it doesn't break you down completely, right? And the first thing you do is a self-assessment. Whether that person gives you information on things you could have done better or things you've done wrong, you still know in yourself things you could have done better. And you need to be honest with yourself about it. And if it's something that you know needs to change, then make those changes. But do that self-assessment. Be honest with what you feel in yourself, if you should have been more caring or whatever the case. And from there, you have to work on those. Work on yourself, I'm going to say. Work on yourself either way, because at the end of the day, you're still a professional, you're still a business, as I say. And if that opportunity is gone, you want to be in a good condition to be ready for the next opportunity that comes along. And you need to build yourself up and sort of strengthen those weaknesses. Like maybe you need to read more books or take classes on something, or being more empathetic, or being more caring, or learning how to manage your money better. Whatever the case may be, you have a responsibility to fix yourself, and you need to take that responsibility seriously, right? Right. So after that, you want to have a support system. And if you don't have a support system already, build one. And the way you build a support system is by being a support system to other people. Volunteer your time. Help other people. And that in itself will help you feel better. because you will need those feel-good chemicals, the natural feel-good chemicals, right? So helping others is one way to help you feel better. Um, Exercise is another good thing, whether you have no experience or you have a lot of experience. If you have no experience, go ahead and start small, even if it's 5 push-ups and 10 body squats a day. Just start small and work your way up. If you do have a regimen already, look into changing it up. Do something that's going to distract you while you're going through those emotional storms, right? So change up your regimen if you have something already lined up in the way of a workout plan. Changing your diet or finding out what hobbies you like. All of these things will help you in recovering from that rejection or that growth opportunity. And if you need to, get help, or just if it's professional, or if you just need a pick-me-up, watch a TV show or a movie that makes you laugh. Do things that are going to build your spirit up. Like I said, be around people who are going to build you up. And you start by being a type of person to build other people up. And eventually you will get that in kind. You'll get that response back as far as a support system. So if you don't have a support system, be a support system. And also, like I said, as far as reading and so on, all of these things, they are up to you. And you need to work on it and take it seriously. And I don't know if I had covered it or not. Not taking it personal as far as yes, I did talk about that already. So coping with it by being honest with yourself and being a support system if you don't have one, and also doing the work to be a better person. So all of those things will help you as far as getting through personal rejections in relationships, be it with family or a potential partner. But what about business-related rejection? I myself was going for a promotion and I didn't get it. And it wasn't the first time it happened. It is a tough pill to swallow, but it's a part of life, unfortunately. And it's something we have to grow through. So like I said before, you want to change your lens, especially in the business format. It's not rejection, it's a growth opportunity, right? And just like with personal relationships, stay classy, stay professional, say thank you for the opportunity. And I don't know if you've heard of that sour grapes analogy. A fox saw some grapes on the vine and they couldn't reach it, and they said, oh, it's probably sour anyway. That's the sour grapes mentality, and you don't want to have that sour grapes mentality, right? So if you have an opportunity to do a follow-up interview, then you definitely do it. Humble yourself and listen to the feedback. Take notes and soak it in and use it to make yourself a more eligible candidate in the future, because the goal is to make yourself undeniable. You want to do everything you can to make it hard for them to tell you no when you're going for a job position or trying to push some type of policy or procedure. Make yourself undeniable. May not always work, but at least you know you've done everything you could. And I think that's the point I had missed with the personal relationship part as far as moving on. So I'll just circle back to that real quick. And when you're moving on, it helps to know that you did everything you possibly could. So when you ask those questions, whether you get an answer or not, you still want to have as least regret as possible. So do everything you can to make it right. And once it's out of your hands, once somebody else decides that they don't want to go any further, then you've done everything you could and you move on. Now, in the business type of rejection, you do ask those questions, you get the feedback interview, and you don't hold a grudge, because once again, if you take it personal, you make it personal. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to leave a bad impression for it, because there will be other opportunities and you never know who they know. And like I said, your reputation is your resume. That's going to precede you. Before you meet anybody, they usually heard something. So you want to do as best as you can to make sure it's good things that they hear. Okay? So do the feedback. And also, this is a harsh truth, especially with internal jobs. A lot of times when people make a hire, they do have somebody in mind of the person they want to hire. It doesn't always turn out that way, but a lot of times they do have that in mind. And what I found, what I have started doing is I'll ask people, off the record if possible, but how can I be that person? How can I be the one that they look for when the next job opportunity arises? And sometimes it's skill related. I need to level up on certain skills. And almost all the time they talk about having good relationships with other people, good rapport. And that's super important, especially in a business environment, is having good relationships, especially with people you don't like. And one way you can get through that is you try to find common goals. You like making money, they like making money. Let's work together to make the money and then go home and take care of your business. Just keep it all work related. Be the best partner you can be without selling your soul, so to speak, right? Treat them with respect, because at the end of the day, they are helping you make money too, because they're helping keep the business running. So even if you don't like them, you need to respect them. And like I always say, be professional. Now, as far as the skills that you can improve on, they won't be easy. It could be a mental grind, it can be a physical grind. Whatever the case, you need to be ready to face it, because at the end of that struggle is a stronger, smarter, more undeniable you. And that's what you want to be, is undeniable. For when that next opportunity comes along, it's going to be hard for them to say no. And with that said, I hope I am being undeniable when I tell you, go be amazing.